is June 23, 2022. I wanted to talk about a course in miracles, mostly because I am due for another huge miracle. And I say another in confidence because I have experienced many miracles in my lifetime. It's quite hot and I don't mind getting a wet ass. I came across a course in miracles more than 30 years ago, and I was actually introduced to this book by a Canadian citizen born Dutch like myself, which is ironic because one of the core principles that A Course in Miracles teaches is that we are all one self, basically. And here is where A Course in Miracles, even though written in very, very Christian language, and on every page it says Christ several times, but the core philosophy is far more Judaic than Christian. Because what A Course in Miracles teaches is B'Tselem Elohim. We are all created in the image and likeness of God, and therefore we share our identity not just with God but also with one another. A Course in Miracles was written by Helen Schuckman, and she was, let me see, a professor of medical psychology at Columbia University's College of Physicians and Surgeons in New York City. And she was anything but spiritual. It says it right here. According to Wikipedia, Helen Schuckman is half Jewish, whatever the hell that means. You either are or you are not Jewish, and the only half of your parental units that counts is your mom. If your mom is Jewish, you're Jewish. If your mom is not Jewish, forget it. You're out of the club, no matter how Jewish your father is. My point is that even though this book is written in very heavy Christian language, it really teaches a very Judaic principle. The principle of B'Tselem Elohim, that we are all created in God's image and likeness. Obviously, God doesn't look like this. If only. Therefore, what is created in God's image and likeness? Well, the Course says it's definitely not the body. This is not who we are. The body is merely a vehicle of expression and a way in which we can communicate with one another for as long as we believe that we are separate from one another. And that is another core principle out of A course in miracles. Scoot over. For as long as we believe that we are separate from one another, and the body therefore is also a symbol of separation. There is a me, there is a you, there is a dog. We are all separate, right? Or so it appears. A Course in Miracles teaches that actually we are not separate, and the part that is united, that is as one, is mind, consciousness. And therefore the collective consciousness is our true identity, connected with one another and created in the image and likeness of our Creator. And here I want to throw in some assumptions about this Creator. God is good. That is an assumption that I am happy to support. God is good. God is love. God is peace and joy and happiness. And God is righteous, just. Words like truth, compassion, kindness are associated with God. If God is actually a mean old bastard, completely wrapped up in his own ego and out to punish us for whatever transgressions we may or may not undertake, then we're doomed. Then never mind, this book can go into the trash. We'll live our miserable little and very short lives compared to eternity. We'll die and whatever. At best, we'll just disappear as if we never happened. At worst, eternal hell and damnation by the hands of an angry God that created us for the sheer sadistic pleasure of tempting us into sin so that he can smite and destroy and punish us. That seems a rather perverted sense of divinity. I'm not here to support that story. I'm here to support the story that our Creator is a benevolent Creator. That God is good, for God's sakes. A much better story. So let me tell you a story out of A Course in Miracles. I wanted to skip right till the end. Where am I going? And go to the manual for teachers. Because it explains why I even started this YouTube channel. To teach A Course in Miracles. That is the real purpose of my YouTube channel. Or so I have it, because my viewers just want to see horses do their business. The closer the better. Introduction from the manual for teachers. The role of teaching and learning is actually reversed in the thinking of the world. The reversal is characteristic. It seems as if the teacher and the learner are separated, The teacher giving something to the learner rather than to himself. Further, the act of teaching is regarded as special activity, in which one engages only a relatively small proportion of one's time. The course, on the other hand, emphasizes that to teach is to learn, so that teacher and learner are the same. It also emphasizes that teaching is a constant process. It goes on every moment of the day and continues into sleeping thoughts as well. To teach is to demonstrate. There are only two thought systems, and you demonstrate that you believe one or the other is true all the time. From your demonstration, others learn, and so do you. The question is not whether you will teach, for in that there is no choice. The purpose of the course might be set to provide you with a means of choosing what you want to teach on the basis of what you want to learn. You cannot give to someone else, but only to yourself, and this you learn through teaching. Teaching is but a call to witnesses to attest to what you believe. It is a method of conversion. This is not done by words alone. Any situation must be to you a chance to teach others what you are and what they are to you. But Salam Elohim. No more than that, but also never less. The curriculum you set up is therefore determined exclusively by what you think you are and what you believe the relationship of others is to you. In the formal teaching situation, these questions may be totally unrelated to what you think you are teaching, yet it is impossible not to use the content of any situation on behalf of what you really teach, and therefore really learn. To this, the verbal content of your teaching is quite irrelevant. It may coincide with it or it may not. It is the teaching underlying what you say that teaches you. Teaching but reinforces what you believe about yourself. Its fundamental purpose is to diminish self-doubt. This does not mean that the self you are trying to protect is real, but it does mean that the self you think is real is what you teach. This is inevitable. There is no escape from it. How could it be otherwise? Everyone who follows the world's curriculum, and everyone here does follow it until he changes his mind, teaches solely to convince himself that he is what he is not. Herein is the purpose of the world. What else then would its curriculum be? Into this hopeless and closed learning situation, which teaches nothing but despair and death, God sends his teachers. And as they teach his lessons of joy and hope, their learning finally becomes complete. Except for God's teachers, there would be little hope of salvation. Very Christian language. For the world of sin, very Christian language, would seem forever real. The self-deceiving must deceive, for they must teach deception. And what else is hell? This is a manual for teachers of God. They are not perfect. or they would not be here. Yet it is their mission to become perfect here, and so they teach perfection over and over in many, many ways. Many ways. Many, many, many ways. Until they have learned it. I'm not there yet because here I am teaching. How are they chosen? What do they do? How can they work out their own salvation and the salvation of the world? This manual attempts to answer these questions.